Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back with a new movie review. And today we are going to be doing Bill and Ted Face the Music. I know one of us is extremely excited to talk about this. As you can see, he is wearing his shirt.
All we are is dust in the wind, dude.
So we'll be getting into that. I guess without further ado, let's just get right into it, man. I'll have you go ahead and take this one. Maybe you give us a brief breakdown of the Bill and Ted saga in general before you get into the actual review.
Yeah, sure. This movie was a big deal for me. I'm not going to even try to hide it, but I grew up on the Bill and Ted movies, especially the first one. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is and always has been one of my favorite films of all time. It's the movie that introduced me to Keanu Reeves. It's about music at an age when I was already really into music, and Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter play these two kind of they're not really stoners. They're just kind of airheads,
dumb.
I guess. Yeah, they're just dumb. They're not stoners because they're good guys. They're not like burnouts or most of the dumb guys in movies are usually burnouts or they just are dumb basically, but in like a really likable way. So they find out in the first one that they're in a band and they're not any good, but they're told by somebody from the future that they actually become so good that their music ends up saving the world. But, in the first one, they had to pass their history test in order to get there. So they go back in time and they collect all these historical figures, and it's great. One of my favorite movies still. Second movie, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, is a little bit more of an acquired taste. I was probably a little disappointed in it back then. It came out when I was 14, but over the years, I've really come to admire it because it doesn't just repeat the first movie. It's a little darker, it's a little weirder, more of an acquired taste, but in my opinion, almost as good as the first one. So that was 1991. That was almost 30 years ago. So about 10 years ago, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter started talking about like the possibility of a third one. And first of all, I was just happy that they were still friends, because Keanu Reeves was already like a huge megastar by that point. But they started teasing the possibility of a third one, and it just never seemed to happen. It would always they would tease it and it would go away. They would tease it and it would go away. So I'm not even kidding when I say like about 2 years ago, when it was actually officially official that there was going to be a third Bill and Ted movie, that was like one of the like greatest moments of that year for me. That like made my whole year to hear that. So all this to say that I'm not going to be able to review this movie very impartially. I'll admit that. So Bill and Ted's Face the Music, it was finally released last Friday. It was supposed to play in theaters, of course, but because of the whole COVID meltdown, I guess it is playing in some theaters, because like you mentioned in the show that we just recorded before this, some theaters are opening. Right. My sister lives in Nevada, and she was at a movie the other night. So it's probably playing in theaters. In California, it is not, but it is available through, for rental or purchase. I actually pre-purchased it. Big surprise. So I can watch it again right after we do this, and I might. I don't know. So anyway, it finally came out on Friday. It was a big deal for me, a big deal for a lot of my family. We actually got together on Saturday. My mom made a Bill and Ted cake. It was that kind of thing. So we watched it all together, me and my mom and dad, on Saturday. And big surprise. I loved it. I thought it was great. The story for this one is, it's 30 years later in the lives of the characters too. So Bill and Ted are kind of these like just kind of middle-aged ordinary guys. And despite what they were told in the first movie, their music actually, has not saved the world yet. Unfortunately, they can't seem to come up with that one song that's going to save the world. But they've just been kind of content with middle age, and it's kind of that movie. It's kind of a movie for people my age who are kind of getting to the same age they are, and maybe, feeling like maybe things didn't, go the way we wanted it to when we were younger, you could say. So there's a lot of that to it. It's actually got a little bit of depth to it, as well as being really funny and really silly. So they get approached, they're married, they've got teenage daughters, both of their marriages are kind of in a rut. They get approached by Rufus's daughter. Rufus was played by George Carlin in the original, the first two movies. And of course, he's passed away, so he couldn't do it. But Kristen Shaw plays his daughter. And she comes to them and says, look, you've got basically 75 minutes or 77 minutes or something like that. If you can't give us like the one song that's going to save humanity, everything is going to collapse. Time and space is going to fold in on itself. So basically, they have 75 minutes, and I think it's in real time, to make this song. And their idea is to go into the future and steal it from themselves when they've already done it. Meanwhile, their two daughters, so they're going into the future. Their two daughters, in the meantime, are going into the past to get the perfect band for them to record this song. So it's kind of these two stories going on at the same time. But yeah, I mean, big shocker. I really loved it. My whole family really loved it. It's funny. It's creative. It's got a little bit of depth, actually. It's, even though Keanu's got a lot of sway these days, and I'm sure he's the reason why this movie got made in the first place. It definitely is a little bit of a low budget. You can tell with some of the CGI sometimes. So if I was gonna complain about anything, it would be that it does look a little low budget sometimes, the CGI. But I didn't care. It's got a lot of heart. It's really funny. It's got a great ending. It's got a great soundtrack. I loved it. So yeah. So there's my impartial 30 years in the making review of Bill and Ted Face the Music, is that I loved it. So how about you? I know you're not quite as rabid of a fan as I am, but you like the first two movies, right?
Yeah, I did. I love the first one. The second one, I enjoy it. I don't dislike it. I know it gets a bad rap, but I didn't hate it. So I admittedly I wasn't as jazzed to see it as you were, but it was like one of those ones where I probably would have seen it anyways. And like you said, I think you had mentioned, if this was normal time, not COVID-19, you would have done Jason and I, we also, in addition to do movie reviews, we also do like a big movie get together, which you usually organize, where it's a group of our friends that are all kind of into films, and we'll all get together and, have dinner and go watch a movie. This would have been one of your choices. So obviously I would have came to that. So I would have seen it regardless. So, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I was a little questionable in the very beginning whether I was going to like it or not. But as it went on, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a good story. It kind of reminded me in some ways of the last what is that? Jay and Silent Bob film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me in some ways of that film, because that was also a film where both the guys were kind of older, but they hadn't really changed, and their people in their lives are saying like, you guys kind of need to change and grow up and do something with your lives, kind of thing. And so there was a lot of, and then they also had one of them also had a daughter as well. You know what I mean? And so there were some similarities to that as well. In some ways, it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. But I enjoyed it. I thought the story was fun. I like they have a villain, like a robot villain in there. That's the same guy. He's in that show Barry.
He's the I can't remember his name in Barry, but he's so good in Barry.
Yeah, he's like the Russian I don't know, bad guy or whatever. That's not really quite that bad guy, and he's kind of the same kind of character in this one. You know what I mean? Just like a wacky kind of. So I loved him. I thought he was funny. I thought it was a good story. It had a good heart. I don't know if I was is over the moon with it as you were, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Where's your T-shirt, Kier? Where's your T-shirt?
Yeah, I didn't get the T-shirt, but no, I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was a good story. I thought it was a good film. Definitely one that I would recommend for sure. So
cool.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Nice. Yeah, good.
Yeah, well, without further ado, what is the overall grade you would give this one and the face you would give it?
Okay, because I'm being super objective and super scientific, I'm gonna be extra harsh and give it 4.5 out of 5. How about that?
Oh, that
So,
half
yeah.
star. You'll
Yeah,
watch
that's
it.
pretty
You'll watch it after this show and probably bump it up a half star.
Yeah, that's true. Second viewing, I'll be like, nope, never mind, not gonna nitpick anymore. But yeah, I give it 4.5 out of 5, which is an A- for me. Actually, the same grade I give the second one. So that's this face. Cheesing it. Big smile.
Cool. Yeah, I hadn't quite decided what I was gonna give it yet. Now that I think about it, but I think I'm gonna lean towards I think I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 5 for me. I think that's a good, solid, respectable grade for me. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. Sorry, and I'm gonna
3 out of 5 or 3.5. You said 3.
And three out of 5. Sorry,
okay.
3. Sorry, my bad. 3 out of 5. Just 3.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, and I think I'm gonna give it a smile. I'll show a little bit of teeth as well. So,
all right.
So this face, which is a smile with some teeth.
Yeah, give me those pearly whites.
That's right, baby. But yeah, great film. It was fun. It was nice to kind of review something that was newer that I felt like, obviously would have came out in theaters. We've been reviewing a lot of new films, but like I said, a lot of them maybe would have came out, maybe not would have came out in theaters, that sort of stuff. And but a lot of them did feel kind of at home. I think we argued in the past on a streaming platform service, whereas this one actually I do think would have been in theaters. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, cool stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely really excited, to see what we do next. I feel like we're getting really, really close to where we're actually going to maybe actually be able to, at some point, sit in a theater and watch a new film. I don't know how many months away we're from that, but, but it's a good sign of good things to come. Hopefully everyone watching enjoyed the review. If you've seen Bill and Ted Face the Music, let us know in the comments your thoughts. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And then let us know in the comments your thoughts.
Yeah.
And then as always, if you like the review, we ask that you give us a big like. Of course, as always, subscribe to the channel, and then make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our updates for any of our new or upcoming videos as we release them. We thank you guys all for watching. We hope you have a great day, and we'll be seeing you all again real soon. Bye.
Bye. Party on, dude.